from scratch. Demos and work can be seen on my website, www.kevinthevoice.com.
Just watch if music comes on.
Professional voiceover with professional audio at a great price. I'm it. Although if you
Is it
do
up?
have to pad your budget,
I'm
I've
looking.
been known to work for beer.
I love that commercial.
Is it on?
I'm looking. I don't see anything
live.
live.
Kevin Klotz voiceover.
Yep, we're on.
www.kevinthevoice.com. Let me be your voice.
Hey, you're live.
Tears on First is a full-service catering company.
Cat? What did I just said, watch in case music comes on.
We can't have music playing in the background or Facebook will drop our connection.
Even though Doc has obviously all the rights, all of the music he plays, there's different rules with Facebook. So.
I remember, yes.
Right, we're live. We got 3 minutes until we're on the radio, so.
How was your comedy show? Didn't go. Okay.
No, I forgot we had something else going.
Sun's right at the computer screen.
I'm looking if I should change the camera just a little.
Everything looks fine on here.
This is what is that's what Facebook is right now.
I can't see.
Okay, that's the feed, so.
I can't see nothing right now. There's like a huge sun glare on the screen.
Okay.
Do I need to turn the mic on? We're fine.
No.
No, but I control the volume over here. Right. 3 minutes and we'll go live. Can you tell if you can hear or something with that microphone?
On here?
Yeah. A lot better?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Talk.
Can anybody hear me?
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm a little louder because I'm right by the mic, but.
You got any jokes today? You're thinking, aren't you?
I am.
You're in deep thought.
I am. I just told a joke recently, but I can't tell it. 'Cause it's not even dirty, it's just, it's not good publicity for us.
No, you can tell us after 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
8 o'clock hour. All right, 30 seconds and we'll be live on the radio. Everybody always gets quiet. Just
Right. Stage fright.
Huh, okay, I got one.
All right, 10 seconds and we'll be live on the radio.
Community podcast on Colossal Radio. Heard the second and fourth Mondays of the month at 7. The opinions of this program are not necessarily that of Colossal Radio. Now, here's your hosts, Keith Hines and Leanne Kahn.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Colossal Community Podcast. I am your host, Keith, and I'm with my co-host, Seriously.
What up?
And we are broadcasting live from Off the Church Music School in Delaware Avenue in Palmerton. And tonight we are talking about creative arts and plants, Leanne.
Yeah, arts and plants. That's like arts and plants.
Arts and plants, yeah. All right, for the first half hour, we have Kathy Fallow here from the Carbon County Creative Arts Fund. She'll be telling us about their group and an upcoming event. Second half hour, we have Amy Wood from the Carbon County Plant Fest and the plant people talking about plants and more plants and plants
And plants.
and plants. All right, so welcome, Kathy.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
So tell us, what is the Carbon County Creative Arts?
Well, the Carbon County Creative Arts Fund is a fund under the umbrella of the Carbon County Community Foundation. Most people in Palmerton know about the foundation. They do lots of good works in the county. And a few years ago, we became one of the many funds under that umbrella. So we're able to raise money, but it is guaranteed or put under the umbrella of the foundation. They help us gather resources, they help us with our advertising, giving us ideas, and they were the people that initially contacted me to become the founding donor of the Carbon County Creative Arts Fund.
Okay. So this isn't just a Palmerton-based group, this is a county-based group.
It's a county-based group, yes.
Okay.
Yes, we want to, our goal is to support artists in the county. This county has a wealth of talent. And it was our idea, my founding co-donor and myself in 2018, we were approached by the Carbon County Community Foundation's director and said, what would you like to do? If you wanted to enhance the county, what would you like to do? And it was very easy for me. I said, the arts, the creative arts. We have a lot of talented people here, whether it's music, whether it's art, whether it's the performing arts. And while they get a lot of support in school and high school, once that they are young adults, middle-aged adults, retired adults, and they want to become artists or they want to get involved in the arts, they don't have a lot of ways of establishing support. And we wanted to, one, help them gather support, but also help the community realize what kind of talent we have here.
Right? Starving artists isn't just a saying, it's a real thing,
Right,
so.
yeah.
It is.
So what's some of the work that you guys do with the funds that you raise?
What we do, we're trying to raise enough money to establish an endowment fund, basically a fund that generates money, the interest, so that we can, on a yearly basis, give out grants to artists or art organizations that want to do something. So the first year that we were in existence, we began in 2018. In 2019, we started with minor grants and we gave them away to 4 different organizations. One was the Zion Opera Workshop in Lehighton. They're a performing arts group, Brad Presley, and he does a great job. They put on a Broadway musical every year. About this time, I think they just finished theirs. That was the one group, and then we also gave money away to Palmerton's Concourse Club and their concerts in the park, a music organization. We also gave money to the Bach and Handel Chorale in Jim Thorpe, and we gave money to the IU. They put on a talent show every year, so we wanted them to enjoy those funds. The following year was when COVID hit, and because we couldn't gather at our event to raise money, we still gave out a grant to the county libraries so that they could solicit stories, and they called it the sheltered stories. So people that were experiencing COVID, wanted to write about it, sing about it, create poetry, could submit their creations to the county libraries. And all 3 libraries collected those stories, called sheltered stories, and they are now part of the Pennsylvania Digital Archive, the COVID Digital Archive.
Oh, wow,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
that's really neat, I didn't know about
Yeah,
that.
I know about it either.
So you can find them online?
You should be able to, yes. It's the Pennsylvania COVID-19 Digital Archive. And we have
I'm
a
gonna have to
couple of
look up
people
that.
submit stories.
So it's not just people that paint or photography, it's.
No, it's really artists, the visual artists, performing artists, musicians. We really want to encourage the creative artists. And the way we raise money is by hosting this annual event, which is coming up May 18th.
And tell us about your event.
Okay. The event is first started in October, but after COVID, we thought, it might be better to have a springtime event. So what we did, and Blue Mountain and the Times News have been great. They've been supporters of ours. It will be held at the Alpine Ballroom. We're going to have over 20 artists this year up at Blue Mountain. And we will have an event, we'll have music. These 20 artists will display their work. Some of the art will be for sale, most of it will be for sale. Please help the artists. The art will be for sale. We do not charge the artists to display their work, but we do ask them that if they sell something, if they could return a commission to us so that we can keep the fund going and
Right.
growing. Blue Mountain is great. They give us discounts on the food, so while you're looking at the beautiful works of art, you'll have nice waiters and staff come around with little hors d'oeuvres, really classy event. Great hors d'oeuvres, feeding you. So, and you'll have some nice music to listen to. We also have a live auction. A number of the artists have donated a piece, and we will be auctioning those pieces off live, and all of those proceeds go to the fund.
So do you get tickets for this event?
You do.
Where can they find them?
They can find them online, and you've been kind enough to put a poster in your window. But it's basically if anyone wants to register online, it is basically look up the Carbon County Community Foundation. All of the funds, including us, or they can simply Google Art with a View. And they can be taken to the Carbon County Community Foundation website, and they can look for us on that website, and they can register for tickets online. Tickets are $50 for one person or $90 for a couple.
No, well, and is there time for people to enter their stuff into the exhibits?
The deadline for that was last month,
Okay.
but any artists that are interested in being part of next year's can certainly, contact us. It might be great for them to come to the event, see what it's all about. But we have many different artists. We have artists that paint with acrylics, oil, we have woodworkers, we have a metalworker this year, someone who works with gourds, someone who designs jewelry. So it's not just people that are painting,
Right.
it's just, and the works of art are reasonable. We do have some artists that are fairly well known, and a lot of their pieces will go for well over $1,000 to $5,000. And they come because they just want to be a part of the event. Many of them actually have students that are in the show. But most of the art will sell from between $50 and $300. So it's reasonable art, reasonably priced, and you can know that you're supporting the rest of the county artists by coming to the event. So that's how we raise our money, is with the ticket sales and with the live auction proceeds.
Well, so how can somebody be a part of the organization? How can they help out?
Again, we always have a newsletter, and again, by contacting the Carbon County Community Foundation, just going to the website, looking for Art with a View. There's information there on how you can get involved, how you can get a copy of the newsletter. One just went out recently, and if you want, I can bring a few here, and you can hand them out. But generally, going to the event is a good way to do it, or contacting the foundation, going onto the foundation website and saying, I'd like to get more involved. And there's always a way to get more involved if you want to be a part of our advisory group, or if you might like to host an event that would help the fund to grow as well. You can do that.
So how did you get involved in it?
The director of the Carbon County Community Foundation contacted me a couple of years ago. I was born and raised in Palmerton, so I've always been in love with the arts. I went away, my career years were in Washington, D.C., but when I moved back here to retire, I wanted to be able to give back to the community, and I made that known. And someone said, well, how do you want to give back? What would you like to do? And I said, well, I'd like to encourage the arts. This is a town that loves their sports activities, but I know that we have a lot of artists here, and I would really like to encourage artistic endeavors, just as much as sports endeavors.
Right.
And they said, well, how can we do that? And once they knew that I had an interest, the foundation is great for putting resources together and ideas together, because I really had no idea how to go about raising money. And they basically said, okay, the first thing you want to do is get yourself known. Maybe you want to have an event at your house, introduce yourself to your friends, and let your friends tell other friends, and get the information going. And we did. We hosted our first event up at Blue Mountain. Blue Mountain said they would be thrilled to do something like this. It had never been done. The Times News said this is exactly the kind of thing we'd like to help you to do. So the Times News and Blue Mountain really were our initial in-kind donors. The Times News published a beautiful spread of the artists, introducing the community to what we were all about, and they had reporters at the event. So they really gave us the publicity that we needed. Blue Mountain, of course, provided the Alpine Ballroom and the food, so that we didn't have to spend as much money on the food as we might if we were planning a wedding or something like that. So those two sponsors have been with us since the very beginning. The first year we raised a few $1,000s. The second year we raised a few thousand more, and then COVID hit. And that's when we decided to do the Sheltered Stories for our grant. So we give a grant every year. Last year, we announced a grant to the Lehigh Gap Nature Center. They are, our fund, along with other donors, supported a mural that's going to be done, and it's going to be put in the Gap. The Lehigh Gap Nature Center will host a bike tour probably this summer, so that everyone can see it. So it's a piece of art for the entire community to enjoy.
Yeah, it's right across the bridge.
Yep. Yeah, that was our, and we've got a grant for this year as well, but I can't tell you yet. but it will be, it'll be a musical, sponsorship this year.
Okay.
Ooh, when is that being announced?
That'll be announced at the event, May
Right.
18th.
Okay.
So where do you see this in the next 5 years? How big do you want this to be?
I want to continue, each event that we have held has really grown larger. We had, I think, 100 people at the first event, and then 110, and 120, 130. We want to inspire artists. And I don't mean 20 or 30-year-olds,
Right.
I mean 20, 30, 40, 50-year-olds. One of the things that we're gonna be doing this May is honoring a Lifetime Achievement Award. We do that each year. Last year, we honored Mary Cucker. Mary has paintings in many of the major businesses throughout the county. This, this event's honoree will be Edie Rader. Now, Edie will shortly celebrate her 103rd birthday.
Wow.
But she hasn't been painting that long. Actually, she started painting, she said, I haven't been painting that long, I started after I retired. Well, she retired when she was 60, so she's been painting for a
Yeah,
while.
that's so
Yeah,
long
yeah.
time. Yeah.
But she is amazing, she's just a delight, sharp as ever. And she will be bringing about 20 pieces of her work, which will be for sale. But Edie's very well known. She and her husband raised their children here in Palmerton, and then they moved to Allentown. And her work has been exhibited all throughout the Lehigh Valley. She was a student at the Baum School, and many people have a work of art. And her work generally sells at a little bit more than the price that I mentioned earlier, but she will have some lesser priced items for sale. So if you would like to have a piece done by Edie Rader, and if you'd like to meet this incredible person, the event should be very special.
Is she still painting?
She is still painting.
Oh, wow.
She is in assisted living. She just moved in there, I think, last year, but she is still painting, less than she used to do. But yes, we visited her, my co-founder and I, Janet Hack-Salick, we went down to see her at her home about 3 years ago when she was 99. And her house was just full of paintings, and she said, that's what I love to do. I just love to see beauty in everything, and I express it via art.
Now, do any of your artists, including your honoree, can you commission pieces from them, or are they?
A lot of them you can. Marianne Schaefer is one of our artists, and I have a good friend who said, you know, I've got a dog that I'd really love to have you paint. And Marianne sat down with her, interviewed her, and said, well, what can you tell me about this dog? And she said, well, we've had him forever, and the one thing, he's always annoyingly taking napkins off of people's laps when they come for dinner. And Marianne took that and painted a picture of Max the Beagle with a napkin in his mouth.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
But Marianne is quite accomplished, and she has been with us since the very beginning. Sue Fleury, who sings occasionally with the Mudflaps, is one of our artists, one of our newer artists. She just started painting a few years ago. Jay Davenport, who has a studio in Lehighton, I believe, Jim Thorpe. Sorry, can't remember where. Jay will be with us. He's with us every year, but he has a number of students who are quite accomplished, and they will be part of our event as well. But we also have people like Sarah Binder, who creates her own jewelry and just does marvelous work. she will be there. We will have someone who works with wood, I think two people are woodworkers and a metal worker. Many photographers, including Lynn Shook, who has at least 3 pieces in my house, I'm sure. Because each year something just captures me. Yeah, so it's a very wide variety and a lot of fun. We do have a lot of fun. There is a cash bar because people who enjoy art, I seem to realize, also enjoy drinking.
Yeah.
So there's a cash bar, and then we have a live auction, and that's a lot of fun as well. But it's mostly people coming with their friends, chatting, having a good time, enjoying. The artists are there as well, so you can talk to them, find out what inspired them, why they chose that particular piece of scenery to paint, and just find out what made them want to do this.
All right, we're gonna go to a commercial break and we'll be right back.
Stacy and Jenna, only grooming service I use.
That's really exciting. So what kind of artist are you?
What kind of artist am I?
Stacy and Jen.
Not a whole lot right now. I do hobby crafting, not really an art. But I did when I was in high school, was always in the glee club, drama. I'm a singer. I did do community theater, performance art, that type of thing. But I've always enjoyed being around artists, being around singers, actors, and I want to encourage that. I think in times like this, coming out of the pandemic, we need something to have fun with. We need something to laugh about. We need something to talk about other than politics or why you're right and I'm wrong. And art does that. Art allows us to say, this is beautiful. I like it. I agree. Even though you may not agree on anything else, you can agree on a beautiful piece of art.
Well, I think it's really neat that you have that you're able to provide that support, because even in schools, these programs are less and less available to kids. And it just seems to be getting worse. Like my dad was the industrial technology teacher in the middle school when he had, and there were so many kids that loved woodworking, and they loved being in the wood shop and building things and making things. And after my dad retired, they got rid of the program, so it's no longer there. And we hear so much from like the industrial arts in high school that there aren't as many students taking those classes anymore because they don't have the experience early on to want to take those classes. And it's funny because I remember in 5th grade, my dad in his 5th grade classes would make clocks. And everywhere we go, someone will stop him and they'll say, do you remember me? Well, of course he doesn't, but he'll say yes. And they're like, I still have my clock. And they're like 40 years old, so it's neat, to see how impactful things like that are to some people,
Yeah.
That's their forte in life,
Exactly.
All right, 30 seconds and we'll be back.
Now, many of our artists didn't begin working in art until after they retired. Or we have many that are young, in their 20s and 30s, and they have a full-time job, but they also do their art.
10 seconds and we'll be back.
It would be neat for there to be like a retired people's art class, to get them out of the house.
All right, welcome back to Colossa Community Podcast, and Leanne and I are learning about the Carbon County Creative Arts Fund. Are you an artist?
I've done some finger painting.
In your rocks?
I am not left-brained at all.
No.
I mean, maybe to some extent, but very abstractly. If you squint and look like this, it might look like something.
Art
you know, you were talking about industrial arts, during the break, and when I was in high school, which was long time ago, industrial arts, woodworking was not for girls. Girls didn't do that, they did home ec. And I just had a couple of high school friends recently laugh about me and home ec. I desperately wanted to be in woodworking, and I couldn't. I had to learn how to sew a dress that looked like a tent, and I melted the zipper, and I would have been so much better working with wood. And I work with wood today. I have my own scroll saw. You asked what I do. I'm not as hobbies. I'm a crafter, but I do work with wood. I love doing scroll saw work, and I would have loved to have done that. At least nowadays, and I know at our high school in Palmerton, they do have females that can do industrial arts, and I think that's fantastic, because not all of us are
Yeah.
destined to be homemakers.
Yeah. Well, when I was in middle school, I did have my dad as a teacher, by the way, which was pretty painful. But you had industrial arts 5th, 6th, and 8th grade, and it was just a normal, like your non-core class.
Right.
So like everybody took it. It didn't matter, like you had to take it. And then just like gym class, everybody had to take gym, and everybody had to take home ec, even the boys. So, you know, so we did have the opportunity to be exposed to that stuff, but then when you get to high school, you get to pick your classes a little bit more. So I think probably most of the industrial arts classes were filled with boys by high school, but in middle school you had to take it.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're not encouraged strongly to take up art in high school, you're certainly not going to be inspired or encouraged when you're in college, or when you're coming back, starting your job when you're out of college. But many people still want to be able to do that. Art is a wonderful way to express yourself. And as I was saying earlier, we are at a time right now where people are sad, people are angry, we're coming out of a pandemic, and it's a difficult time. And if we can use the arts to bring people together, to inspire people. Last year I talked a lot about my heritage. I'm Ukrainian, my ancestors are Ukrainian. And I mentioned how the Ukrainians, when things were really bad, they were singing, they were playing. This past winter, when there was no heat and there was no light, the Lviv Symphony performed in the dark, in the cold, to a sold out audience.
Wow.
Now that's what art can do for you.
Yeah.
And it was just fantastic. And so many Ukrainian artists are painting. So many people here love to paint what inspires them. And if you have the opportunity to talk to an artist and learn what inspired them to paint that painting is much more valuable to you.
Right.
And I just really enjoy listening to artists and learning about what inspired them.
Yeah.
All right,
And,
we have a couple minutes here if you just want to recap the event.
Sure. Art with a View will be at Blue Mountain Ski Resort in the Alpine Ballroom. And it'll be from 5:30 to 8:30, so it's not a late night evening. 5:30 to 8:30, a little bit of music, gathering, and tickets will be $50 per person or $90 per couple. A good time is always had by all. There will be a live auction, there's cash bar, lots of good food, lots of good companionship, and lots of good stories about art. Lots of different artists.
Fabulous.
All right,
Alright.
thank you for coming on and thank you for telling us about your group and, we'll share all the information for you and, thank you again.
Great, thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Abby.
Alrighty.
All right, we'll post the flyer up here on the screen, those of you that are watching it on Facebook. Leanne, your dad said seriously didn't do too bad industrial arts.
Yeah, let's not talk about the 98 Bruce Tom.
All right, up next, we're gonna have the Carbon County Plant Fest and Plant People coming on, talking about their event. But before we get to that, there's some Colossal Radio news coming up. Doc will be at the Iron Pigs Jeep event on May 20th. You can get your tickets on the Iron Pigs website. This Thursday from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., Doc will be DJing at the Cover Bridge Inn. And Saturday, he'll be at the Beltsville Bar and Grill from 2 to 5. And save the date, mark the calendar, the second annual Colossal Jeep Fest will be held September 3rd, and more information will be coming its way.
Are you ready for my joke?
Yes, I'm ready for your joke.
Okay. Why can't you hear a pterodactyl go into the bathroom?
I don't know why.
Because the P is silent.
Alright, you didn't chase our next guest. Alright, we have with us Amy Wood from the Carbon County Plant People. Welcome. So tell us, what is the Carbon County Plant People?
So we started out as just a Facebook group. We went over like houseplant stuff, gardening, and I started to realize a lot of our plant people are super crafty people. So we've kind of evolved into our own little event that we've been doing. This is our third one, and we're going to be moving into doing 2 a year versus the 1. So we're really excited for that. And our first one is this Saturday. Well, our first one for this year is this Saturday.
Okay. Where's that at?
Lansford.
Lansford. Alright, alright. So what is it called and is there a theme?
So this one, I've never done this before. It was just like a random idea. I'm like, let's go for it. So we're gonna do Halloween in April, kind of like Christmas in July, but we're gonna do Halloween instead. So it's actually that 6-month mark, like.
Like halfway?
Yeah.
Halfway to
yeah.
Halloween?
Yeah.
Alright. So people are encouraged to, dress up and
Yes, that's like my most favorite part of this whole event is dressing up.
So tell us about like the vendors that you have coming and what's happening at the event.
So at this point, from doing it for like 3 years, we have like a few vendors that are just always there. Like we have a few that come back every year, and then this year we have added like newer ones. I try to bring in like different things. Like through the months, I'll ask the group like, hey, what did you see at Plant Fest that you liked? What didn't you like? What would you like to see? So I'll try and do my search. Like I'll go to events and be like, hey, I like this vendor, grab their card and see if I can get a hold of them. Like try and bring different things in. But this year, the biggest thing for Plant Fest is the house plants. Like Carbon County, we don't have a lot of like house plant shops.
Right.
So when we can bring in the vendors, a lot of the group members get really excited. Like we're gonna get our plants now.
Yeah.
So the really big ones that everybody's really excited about is the Curious Plantaholic. She is in Nazareth and New Jersey.
I know her, Jenny.
Yeah, I love Jenny.
I love Jenny too. I've given a lot of money to Jenny.
Yeah, I think we all. And the Wicked Botanist is coming, and we're also going to have Mutation. She is one of my favorites. She has like a plant school bus she brings. She's not bringing it this one, but she has brought it before, where it's like full of plants. So she like shows up with this little bus and it's just like full of shelves of like plants and stuff. And she has like the more uncommon things that you won't usually find in other places. And she also sells like online, and she lives, I think it's like East Stroudsburg or something.
Okay.
So we have like this meeting point. We'll all meet in the Lowe's parking lot to pick up our plants.
It's like a shady deal.
So yeah, we also have a lot of artsy people, like Third Street Studio. She does 3D printing, and she has like really cool little.
Terry Trotter.
Yes,
Yeah.
she's really cool. I met her personally. She is such a cool person.
She is a really fun person, yeah.
And someone who's been with us for a really long time is John Nixon. he started with us. We started this event with just a plant swap. There were no vendors, no monies exchanged. We just traded plants. And he's kind of been there since the beginning, and he's like just this guy with like all this knowledge. Like if you have any question, you just ask Sean Nixon. He has an answer. He tells you what to do, how to handle it. So like he's one I'm really excited to see because he grows most of all his plants he brings. He grows himself. So I like buying from vendors who do that because you know the plant is good because they've been growing it for months.
Right.
So he's like the walking app. So instead of scanning a plant to know what's wrong with it, you just ask him what's wrong with it and he can help you out.
Yeah, and then he gets like really scientific and he might
Oh,
need the
that's-
dictionary.
Okay.
Making the dictionary.
Nice.
So explain to people what a plant swap is, because I think it's super cool.
So plant swap is how you get rid of things you don't want and get a hold of things you do want.
Wow.
So you can do pots or moss poles, or you have your clippings, or you have your hostas or your bulbs, anything you have too much of, and you want something else, you take it to plant swap and you trade it. Some people will wait around to trade because they have valuable plants and they don't want to trade for nothing.
Right.
And then you have some people who are like, I have too many daylilies, here are all the bulbs. So you just pretty much drop a little off, take a little with you. So it's like a nice way to kind of switch up your collection without having to pay anything.
Okay.
And that has its own area, like,
Yes. Yeah, we have a separate space just for that.
for the swap.
Yeah.
Okay. What time and where in Lansford is it?
It is at 11 a.m. to 4 o'clock.
This coming Saturday.
Yes. Rain or shine. Hopefully shine.
If not, the plants just get watered, it's fine.
Yeah. I don't like the rain.
No. And it's at the park in Lansford, right?
Yes, Kennedy Park.
Okay. So Halloween, are you gonna dress up and go swap some plants?
I was gonna come for the candy. Is there candy gonna be?
Of course, there's gonna be
Yeah,
candy.
so yeah, I was gonna come for the candy. I'm not a plant person, so.
I was at, I think the first one, which was in Andrews.
Okay.
Yeah. And I personally loved like all the fun like macrame, like plant, like I like I have a lot of plants, but sometimes I have to get, you know, crafty in how I place them because you can't just have them set all around, you know?
Yeah.
So,
You run out of space. So
yeah,
fast.
yeah, I know, it's so bad. I was just at Costco last weekend and they have a greenhouse for sale.
I just put up a greenhouse.
I
Oh my
know,
God.
and I was like, no, man, because that just gives me more room and then I'm just gonna have to fill it with more plants.
Yeah.
So,
But you go to the plant swap and you can get more plants.
Yeah, there you
yes,
go.
it's true, it's very true.
So it's all gonna be at the event. I see that Dave Masinko is gonna be playing. or no,
Dave
Matt-
Masinko is playing. Geo, they're playing. Hatter is playing, and the Towering Pine. This is their third year with us. They come all the way up from Philly, and everyone really likes them. So we're really looking forward to seeing them guys. And we're also going to have a yoga class midway through the music. So bring your yoga bag, and she's going to come up to the stage this year, and she's going to host the yoga class in between the music.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
And there will also be face painting by Ben Bristles. She is actually the lady who painted all the windows in Palmerton. She will be doing the face painting at Plant
Nice. So I need to know this, and I should know this because I'm on the group. How did you get an alien as your logo for Carbon County Young People?
So it's probably really stupid.
That's okay.
So, like, COVID happened, and I was like bumming. I'm always like into my plants and stuff. I'm like, you know what? We should take a plant group. And I was like, there's no way any cool plants are coming here unless the aliens bring them. So now I just alien obsessed.
That's funny. So that's the inside scoop on the alien, is just the aliens are gonna bring us new plants. I like it.
So do you guys have like meetings or is this strictly a Facebook group?
I became friends with a lot of people in the group. Like Tori, she's an admin. She's been in the group since we were at 100 members, like 3-4 years ago. Then I have other moms who kind of like help out, and we also have Kayla. She came in a few months ago, and she's been helping a lot with like social media posts and stuff. Cause like I learned I really don't like being active all the time on social media. I feel like it's exhausting to deal with that all the time. And I also work in a flower shop, and I have a son and I have a house, so it's like I don't want to completely be sucked into social media. I feel like that's very toxic.
Yeah.
So I try to like have people in the group help me, and with this, Kayla has been like really helpful with like the promoting and stuff. Because right now I really just don't have time to sit there and just do it all.
Yeah, well, the neat part about the group too is like there are people that will post like, hey, like I have these plants that I'm trying to get rid of, like they're doing plant purges, and I've gotten a couple, like this one lady, she was here in Pomeranz, and then she trimmed down one of her plants and threw it outside, and it just randomly started to grow outside instead of dying. So she potted it, and she's like, it's on my front porch if somebody wants it, and I was like, I'll take it. So I just like randomly saw that someone's porch and it's like, yeah. But it is definitely neat to see how many people, I mean, the Facebook page number is huge, like how.
Yeah, we're close to like 3,500 right now.
Yeah, that's a big number.
Yeah, so it's definitely neat to see. I mean, I feel like the plant thing started a lot during COVID.
Yeah, everyone was home. Like,
Yeah,
we
everyone
need
was
something
home.
positive.
And like plants in your home just bring like good air, you know, and
Yeah.
everything. And I mean, my office has plants in it, and people come in all the time and like, your office is so pretty and your plants are so green, and I was like, well, yeah, I know. but yeah, I definitely got into plants too during COVID, and
Right.
I think it's like the new thing. Everybody loves plants.
And once you start, you can't stop.
I know.
Do you store stuff away for the winter to save them, or you just start all over again?
Well, it depends on what it is,
Huh.
because the house stuff just lives forever.
Right.
Well, it depends.
Yeah. I mean, I did have some outdoor plants that I brought in over the winter, but I definitely got lazy with them inside, and they didn't look so hot. But then I put them out in the sun, and they started to grow back, so they're spiders.
So I did see on your Facebook page, people were asking if there's gonna be vegetable plants at the fest. Is there gonna be?
I'm not sure about swap, but I know there will be vendors selling vegetable plants.
Alright.
Because you never really know what everyone's bringing to swap. That's always a surprise. I'll do a post and be like, hey, what are you bringing? A lot of people are trying, but some people don't do the social media, so anything's possible as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and some of it's like even landscaping too, because I remember when I was at the Andrews one at the swap, I went over to look at I didn't have anything to trade, but I just wanted to see what was there. And someone had a whole bunch of like Rose of Sharon, and like that's like a landscaping plant, like they get big and tall. I mean, we have those at our house, and so you know, sometimes you can even get some plants that make the outside look pretty.
Yeah, all my bulbs around my house were gifted to me.
So where do you see this happening, like going in 5 years or so?
Oh man, that's a lot to think. So, I do want to like add more things for the kids. Like, a lot of us have kids, and I always know that like there isn't enough to keep the kids occupied at the fest. So I try my best to bring things in. Like Head Start is coming in to do craft this year. Amanda will be doing face painting. We got the costume contest. The kids will have their own separate contest, so we'll be voting separately for the kids. And I really want to like bring in more to keep kids occupied, because I know it's annoying when you're like trying to
many vendors do you have total as of now?
Alright, so we're really close to 60.
Wow.
So this is the most we've ever had. This is the most I've ever had at the Lansford Park. So it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there'll be food there?
We do have a food truck coming in. We have Phil's French Fries is coming in. We also have the Prairieville Fire Department. They're gonna come in. The Lions Club is coming in. Lansford Friends of the Pool. They do like prepackaged soup that you can like take home with you and stuff. And they also do like baked goods. And we have someone selling lemonade.
Okay.
Do you have any plans for the swamp, or
I don't know.
you don't know?
I had one that I didn't really like, but that I was gonna actually take to swap, and I'm not even lying about that, but then today, Loki knocked it down. There's like, it had like 3 shoots, only one shoot has survived, and, yeah, I can't.
You can't swap it out.
I can't burn a leaf.
Fair enough.
There is actually, and there's lots of rootage still like hanging off the bottom. It can probably be salvaged, but
It's gonna take some work.
it's a begonia.
Oh.
I know, and it's like, it's one of the one that has looks like it has works on it.
Oh, okay.
It's
Did you buy it just because it's old?
actually, someone gave it to me because it was like super cheap at Lowe's, and they
Okay.
felt bad for it, so they're like.
See, like, they make you have feelings about them.
I know, and I do feel bad, I mean, and I feel like,
So you love too.
I know, but obviously the cat didn't like it, so.
Or your cat likes it and wanted to make sure that you didn't get rid of it and that it sticks around and you continue to give it loving. So maybe
My
Loki
cat's
says,
that smart.
you never know.
Why don't you like plants, Keith?
Yeah, Keith.
I don't know.
I think you need a plan for your desk.
This isn't my desk, so
I'm so getting you a tiny little plant. I am. And you're gonna have to take care of it because I got it for you as a gift.
You should give it a name and then.
That's what I was gonna say. I'll name it.
So I have to do like a daily progress on
Your,
it.
yeah, your pet plant.
The live cam on it.
There's like videos of him switching it out so he acts like he didn't kill it.
It's like they buy an artificial one. Look, Leah, look.
I'm definitely getting Keith a plant. When's your birthday?
I'm not telling.
She will.
Facebook will tell you.
That's true.
Kind of plan are you going?
Getting you?
Yeah.
Oh geez, I don't know.
I think he's a snake plant kind of guy.
Yeah.
Or it's easy or something.
It's easy, yeah. I call them apocalypse plants.
What's that?
You can't kill them. Like you can keep them in a
Challenge
dark
accepted.
closet by themselves for a year, and then you take them out, and it just be happy to see you.
That's what we need.
So you're saying you can't go?
I mean, I'm sure you could, but like I have a ZZ plant and a snake plant, and I water them like every other month.
Don't tell him this, you're just gonna drown it now.
Yeah, that's true. Because if you do, you can. That's probably the only way to kill it.
Yeah.
Is if you overwater it.
He won't.
It likes neglect.
He won't do that, don't worry.
You seem like a neglect plant kind of guy.
Do I?
Yeah.
Or is he like an overlover and like checking on it too much and like.
Find out. She would be the hoverer.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, not him.
Wow. So I have to take care of a plant.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll do you a favor, I won't get you a succulent. Everyone's like, oh, succulents are so easy, you just water them every once in a while, they like it dry because they're, no.
No.
They are the most finicky freaking plants ever. Like, you put the wrong soil in there, you use not, like, I have to use distilled water on them. Like, they're like the bougiest freaking plants ever. I can't, I hate succulents. They can suck it.
Alright, on that note, we're gonna go into a commercial break.
I bought succulents thinking like heads and chicks that they were gonna do well.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they
Yeah,
really don't.
no. They're are on our own and we don't care, but once you take us into your house, you need to like give us your soul.
In Franklin's Alley.
Well, I even had outside, I had hens and chicks outside,
Yeah.
and they still live.
Aren't they ones that come back in the winter because they like usually come out around here?
Yeah.
I never got mine. Other stuff that's phenomenal. Like, my neighbor even calls my area like, his dad would say it's like a jungle. But I like flowers. I love a lot of flowers out. My mom and my sister do the same thing. So it's just,
I don't do flowers, I do foliage.
you know, I do flowers. Oh, yes, they do.
She has a bunny in her house, that's her baby.
But it's a fight with the neighborhood rabbits, like the wild ones. There were 4 of them the other day. I went outside on the weekend and I opened the door and I just stood there because over under the neighbor's swing set, there sat 3 rabbits and 1 off the side, and I'm just like staring them down like, really? And I have coral bells, and during the winter, they mow them all off.
Yeah.
I'm like,
You can't even enjoy them.
now they're growing back, so now I have to spray everything so that the rabbits can't, because they'll mow my lilies and everything.
Yeah.
It's a big fight.
Yeah, I don't like them much.
I like my rabbit, but not the wild ones. They wanna go to the neighbor's plants, that's fine, but they tend to just, they're like, oh, what kind of a garden salad do we have today? It's a constant battle.
Very much a part of the community they serve.
Who's gonna name Keith's plant? Leanne, you gonna give his plant a name?
I'll name it, but I'm gonna have to look at it.
Yeah, you'll have to know what it is first, yeah.
You have to settle next to each other and kind of look at them together.
You should get Doc one as well, and see who kills it theirs
Get them the
first.
same exact plant.
Yes.
Doc for here, and then Keith will take home, and you see whose lasts better. And I'm not gonna do anything with it.
Alright, 40 seconds, and we'll be back on the radio.
I feel bad for the plant though.
I would too.
You want her on your team. It's twisted over and broken.
I can at least make sure it stands a chance.
Kristen Energy with Iron Valley Real Estate.
Ready, 20 seconds, and we'll buy.
Just to remind them to water it. They water it? During the winter, that's tough. I have a big spike, and then I always forget, so I try to do it like once a week.
Let's say music helps the plant, there's lots of music.
I'm gonna have to get his, that's okay.
Alright, 10 seconds.
Oh, what? Do they grow though? They bottom?
They kind of look like kelp at the bottom of the
You
wood.
do.
Alright, welcome back to Coloss Community Podcast, and Leanne and I are talking with Amy from Carbon County Plant People, and apparently during commercial break, Doc and I are now getting a plan and seeing who does the best job of taking care of it. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, that's what's happening, 100%. So we're gonna get you the same plant and see who's a better plant dad, you or the doc.
And he has to keep it here though, nobody can help him, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I would say he should keep it here because, you know, if we get good light here, doesn't
And
mean.
you can check on it when you come here.
Yeah, and I can see, so you can't lie. And then I know you can't lie because she's not gonna let you lie.
I can take pictures.
Yes. Yeah, you're gonna have to put it on weekly updates on the Facebook page so we can see, and both of them are gonna have names,
Okay,
so we'll name them for you guys.
alright.
Sound like a deal?
Alright, challenge accepted.
Good. Doc, you don't get a choice.
Somebody said, are we placing bets on whichever dies first? See what that.
So we we can, no, we can't condone, we don't have a small games and chance license,
Right.
so we can't condone the gambling, but if you guys wanna do it, you know, on your own, you can
They
definitely.
can just guess who's is going to, you know, kick fun at first. But now Kate comes in here once a week, at least once a week, so
Yeah.
Doc may have a little help from Kate.
She won't help him either, so.
No, okay.
Alright, speaking of naming, Leanne, people are trying to give you a radio name, since seriously is taking off.
I mean, it's a really cool name.
So far we have 5 choices here that people submitted. First one is Commando Keith.
Yeah, so my dad suggested that, and he claims he didn't know the connotation behind commando.
Okay, Bruce.
He just thought it was like army light.
Right.
So, but, I mean, we won't ask if
I
you're
won't
truly
tell.
commando.
Alright, second choice was Crazy Keith, Caveman Keith, Soundwave, and the thing that I've been hearing all my life is Heinz 57.
That's corny. You can't because of ketchup.
Yeah, ketchup. Oh, we have here the Podfather.
That's actually really cool. Who said that?
Actually, my sister-in-law said that.
Nice.
So yeah, seriously, in the Podfather.
I kind of like that. I don't know. So I think Podfather is my top one now. I did like what was one?
Soundwave,
No.
Caveman,
That one's alright.
Commando.
I can't take that seriously. See what I did there?
Crazy,
Well, we all know that. We already know you're crazy.
Crazy with a K.
Crazy with a K. I think the Podfather is pretty good.
Ah. Cassie said you got that shirt for Christmas for a reason. See? They pre-named you the Podfather.
Wait,
even
so
as
you have a shirt that says it too?
Yeah.
It does.
So then we have to because you've already been dubbed it.
Alright,
There you go.
so I guess that's my radio name, the Podfather, and seriously.
Nice.
So like a lot of life changes happen.
Yeah, I know, this is
Plant
like,
child,
this is a
about
rough
a
half hour.
game.
Yeah, this is a rough half hour.
I know. All the focus is on you
Yeah, I
tonight.
see that, the plans, the name, wow.
Yeah. So, does that mean that our new entrance is gonna be like the music to The Godfather, and I'm gonna have to come in and kiss your ring? When we start the podcast.
Well, if you want to, I don't know,
I don't know, I like it though,
you like it?
The Podfather,
Alright, we'll see how well the people like it.
the people,
The
it's
people.
all about the people.
It's all about the people. Alright, Amy, if you wanna recap your event one more time before we close out.
Okay, Carbon County Plant Fest, Halloween in April is Saturday, the 29th, 11 to 4. If you'd like more information, you can check us out on Facebook at Carbon County Plant People, BSD. And we will be having a second Plant Fest this summer, August 26th from 11 to 4.
And where is that located?
That will also happen in Lansford.
Alright.
Alright. Alright, our next episode will be on May 8th, and we're pushing the superhero night to that date. And Leanne and I will determine if we're going to be a superhero or a villain. And we'll talk about all things superhero, and we're working on something for that night, so stay tuned for more information on that. Amy, thank you for coming. Good luck to your event. I seriously learned a lot tonight between both guests.
Yeah,
I didn't-
arts and plants, arts and plants.
Arts and plants, arts and plants. All right, with that, we're gonna close out. See you all next time.
See ya.
We hope you enjoyed tonight's Colossal